Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League. Today we're at round 2, the Italian Grand Prix Season 7, getting ready to kick off here live. As always, I'm your host, James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action to the 60 frames a second. As drivers starting to make their way out onto the grid, let's see who is where. It's a very busy grid. Starting on pole, the defending champion, Finley Fitzsimmons. Ray Aguilar starting second. Reed Gibson starting third. Jack Free-Mundy starting fourth. Antonio Bianchi starting fifth. Justin Sang starting sixth. Jaden Calloway starts seventh. Felipe Sarkis starting eighth. Ryan Tebow starting ninth. Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian, starting 10th. Michael Fairchild starts 11th. Nick Peterson will be starting 12th here today. Let's cycle it on back to John Kasai, starts 13th. Peter Rettinger starts 14th. Xavier Zanave, the Flying Frenchman, starting 15th. Micah Barnett starting 16th. Andrew Neri coming back to the League Zero grid. He's starting 17th. Felipe Ramos starts 18th. Ricardo Espino starting 19th. David Schmidt starts 20th. And Addison Hoagie will round out the 21-car grid here today as we get ready for these drivers to make their way out and get things started here at the Italian Grand Prix. Waiting for a few more drivers to make their way out onto the grid. We're waiting on Jack Mundy as well as Felipe Ramos. Late entries here. As we're waiting to get things going, we're starting with a feature event, 24 laps. And then we'll have a very brief intermission followed by the sprint race. And here we go as we get ready for the lights to come on and flicker off. Starting tonight off with the feature event. Green flag is away. And away we go. Aguilar trying to work the outside line against Fitzsimmons into turn one. Defending is Fitzsimmons. Look at that, Reed Gibson also in the mix, but I'm seeing a little bit of carnage back here. That's Jaden Calloway, Andrew Neri, David Schmidt. Both involved in that one. Looks like everybody except Calloway was quick to get it fired back up, pointing in the right direction. Andrew Neri with another off-track excursion here, able to get things going, so he's going to have a long uphill battle. Fitzsimmons has gained about 0.6 of a second over Aguilar, but if we go back to Bianchi, the number 17 machine, right on the gearbox of Reed Gibson, but he's also got Jack Mundy in very hot pursuit just behind Mundy. Down one spot from where he started, didn't get the position he was looking for, but still holding on to 5th place. So far, a relatively calm start to get this main event going, this feature event, is Bianchi really keeping the pressure on Gibson. He can see his teammate Aguilar not too far ahead and wants to lend his support to that number 72 machine. Look at that, Bianchi gets a little bit out of shape, trying the outside line against Gibson. A little bit of a lockup there, possibly contact between the two. Bianchi off in the gravel, he's gonna fall back to 6th. And has to get things fired back up. Nick Peterson also has an off track. Ryan Tebow has come down pit road. Not sure what happened there to the Canadian driver as Felipe Sarkis in a 3-car battle for, that's going to be 6. It's Bianchi, Sarkis, McAllister. Ooh, everybody have to be nice and careful here, not trying to make too big of a lunge early on this feature event. We got another report, Michael Fairchild Oh, missing the rear wing, so something has happened to Fairchild, resulting in a big hit in the 88. Catches a little bit of gravel, gets some help from behind, and there goes the wing. I'm trying to think, was that possibly Micah Barnett involved in that incident? As the driver's starting to very quickly drop off the face here. Oh, and a big moment there for David Schmidt. Sends it careening around, thankfully keeps it off the wall. But here's another good three-car battle. You've got Felipe Ramos, Andrew Neri, Ricardo Espino. And now it looks like Jaden Calloway is going to join the fray. We get an onboard from Calloway's 37. We know Calloway has the pace. Qualified in about that 7th place spot. Now finds himself crawling back through the field in 18th. Definitely going to be an uphill battle here for Calloway. Calloway looks to the outside line of Espino, not quite able to get it just ahead of them. That's Felipe Ramos, Andrew Neri also going side by side. Both Neri and Ramos up 2 positions. Oh, Gareth McAllister in a precarious spot. Finds himself involved in a little bit of a mistake. Now he's got Micah Barnett running 10th. Peter Rettinger in 11th. Really breathing down the gearbox of the 25. The lone Australian out on circuit here. Now, before today's broadcast, McAllister was saying, hey, you know, I've really kind of figured out the fuel mileage game. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can make that happen. Here we go, the battle for third. Jack Mundy has taken the position from Gibson. Almost like Gibson kind of hopped out of the way there of the young European driver, sporting the number 14. Michael Fairchild, Ryan Tebow, both in pit road for extended stays. And if you're a newcomer here at League Zero, there is a rule. If you find yourself taking a tow back to pit road, you are done and out for the evening. Mundy and Gibson still going at it here. Looks like, I think Mundy's going to get up a breakaway gain about 3/4 of a second. As let's check back in on Finley Fitzsimmons, your race leader. So far, clicking it off, making it look relatively easy here. Fitzsimmons doing everything he can to make this track a little bit wider, carry as much speed as he possibly can. And really not having any issue. Let's go a little bit further back, checking in on Aguilar. Aguilar kind of in no man's land here on lap 4. He's about 2 seconds back from Fitzsimmons. About 2 seconds up over Jack Mundy. And we did get another crash report as well. Addison Hoagie involved in an incident. Is it going to be a single car incident? So far, it looks like so. I think Hoagie might be driving a little bit of damage here. That car seemed a little bit off kilter leading up to that off-track incident. So definitely not too big of a moment there for Hoagie. Thankfully, as he keeps that 96 machine pointing in the right direction. Two closest drivers out on track. That is going to be Andrew Neri, Jaden Calloway battling for 16th. Oh, here we go. Callaway making the pass and doing so very cleanly against Neri here. And it looks like Gibson's starting to close the gap back to Mundy here. It'll be interesting to see. Mundy seems like he's doing a great job holding the pace, not getting too pressured there by Gibson. And for the most part, the field fairly spread out here as we've got live timing on the left side of your screen. Gonna be interesting to see though, can Gibson maybe find some more pace? Try to track down, but we've got more problems as well. David Schmidt had an off-track excursion. Let's get that one queued up. Loving the Star Wars paint on that Formula 3 machine. Just misses the corner. Thankfully, as far as off-tracks go and open wheel, not too big of an issue. As we're starting to see the field tighten up in certain places, Micah Barnett putting the pressure on to McAllister. Oh, here we go. Barnett making big moves here. Is he going to keep the pressure on Kasai? I think Barnett's got the pace. As he's closed the gap now down to a quarter of a second to the propane man himself, Kasai. Barnett squarely in the draft. But it looks like Kasai is going to be able to defend here. Gotta give Kasai the credit, doing a great job defending, able to hold on. And Fitzsimmons up front, just still keeping the pace, a 136.86 that time by. Now this is where Fitzsimmons wanted to be. He's got clean air, he's got nobody around him on track. Just getting to focus on what's going on. And it looks like the off-tracks have kind of dwindled down as well. Maybe drivers starting to get in a little bit of a groove, starting to feel comfortable with the tire wear, and really not having too many issues here. Let's go back up front where Jack Mundy finding great pace, now putting the pressure onto Ray Aguilar in what could be the battle for second. Let's see if we can grab an onboard from Mundy here. Aguilar doing a good job keeping him at the rear. But Aguilar seems like he's not allowing Mundy to really close that gap up too terribly much. Mundy and Aguilar still separated by about 0.7 of a second. There's Aguilar just ahead. That's what 0.8 of a second looks like here at Imola. And Mundy, he was feeling very, very confident coming into this feature event. And really, for the most part, besides what looks like Barnett, who did make that pass on Kasai, the rest of the field fairly strung out. Kasai looks back to the outside line. What a big send from the number 3 machine of John Kasai. And oh no, there goes Barnett. Barnett might have been off the line, could have hit a little bit of marbles. Let's get that one queued up and see just what happened. So there is Kasai, the left side of your screen, a massive send in the chicane. Oh, and I think Barnett was a little bit loose. The back end spin around, caught the grass, and that's all she wrote. Hate to see that for Barnett, but that was such a beautiful move from Kasai. Now let's see. Aguilar still about 4.5 seconds back from your race leader, Finley Fitzsimmons. And we do have drivers coming down pit road, not quite to the halfway mark. Felipe Sarkis, the Brazilian driver, the number 4, will be the first driver down pit road to refuel. As it looks like Mundy's starting to wick it up here against Aguilar, has closed it down to a half second between the two. This is going to be interesting to see if he can maybe make something happen here. Meanwhile, back in the battle for 13th, you've got Jaden Calloway, Addison Hoagie, Felipe Ramos. Separated by about, let's call it about 0.8 of a second between the three here. As it also looks like, I think, yes, that's Justin Sang in the 68 catching up to Reed Gibson. But we may still have some dicing going on up here in the top 5. No, excuse me, I think I stand corrected. So it's Sang getting approached from Antonio Bianchi behind. Something has happened to Jaden Calloway where it shows him on top of pit road. I don't think that is correct. So something has happened there. There we go. Let's get corrected with Fitzsimmons back in the top spot. And I'm going to be curious to see, as the crossed green and white flags are out here at the Italian Grand Prix, when are we going to see drivers coming down pit road? Fitzsimmons holding a very comfortable 5-second gap. If we pan the camera back to Aguilar, you can also just spot Jack Mundy and Reed Gibson closing the distance as well. Gotta wonder if maybe a little bit of fuel saving is going to come into play here after what we heard the drivers say earlier on. I believe it was Bianchi in practice saying, hey, I don't think I have as much fuel as I originally thought. Actually burned through a whole gas tank during the practice session leading up to this feature event. And I'm very intrigued. These top 4 drivers, Sans, Fitzsimmons, really getting closer here. Let's pan the camera back to Reed Gibson. I think he wants to get back in the fight for the podium. He sees Mundy just ahead. Gibson's historically been very, very fast. And Mundy's going to take that opportunity to dive down pit road. That's going to put Gibson up into 3rd based on pit cycles. And Reed Gibson has just clicked off the fastest lap of the race on 136.71. So he's getting a little bit more comfortable as this continues here. So Mundy, who had come down on lap 13, Sarkis came in on lap 10, Ramos and Callaway around that lap 11 and 12 mark, as well as Andrew Neri, so a little bit of an undercut for those drivers. The big question is now, as we've clicked off 14, or just about clicked off the entire 14 laps. We're on currently lap 14 in Imola. When is Fitzsimmons going to come down pit road? He holds a very comfortable let's call it a 5-second gap. I thought he was going to dive down pit road right there, but no. He's going to opt to stay out another lap. That's going to put it 9 laps left to go as he crosses the start-finish line. And the top 4 very spread out. If you go a little bit further back, Bianchi has Justin Sang still in his sights. Bianchi started this race, qualified 5th, currently still running 5th. It would be poetic justice for the lone Italian out on track to maybe bring home a podium at his home country. As Bianchi keeping the pressure on Sang here. Less than 6/10 separating the two. Oh, Sang finds a little bit of momentum there. Carrying a little bit better entry speed. I think Bianchi makes it up on corner exit as we're on board with that number 17 machine of Bianchi. That's Sang in fourth, just ahead, a half second. Sang is up 2 spots from where he originally qualified. Now Fitzsimmons did click off his personal fastest lap of the race. Gibson still holds the fastest so far in this feature event. 9 laps left to go, then a brief intermission before the drivers are back out on track for the action-packed sprint race here at League Zero. And it seems like Bianchi just not quite able to close that gap that he was looking for. Still just kind of stuck at that half second back, but there we go. Fitzsimmons on the top spot, answers the call for the fastest lap of the race. A 1:36.548. Fitzsimmons is feeling it. So Fitzsimmons qualified in the top spot, now has the fastest lap so far of the race, wants the hat trick as they call it, qualifying on pole, leading the most laps and the fastest lap of the race. Really, it's I don't know what they call 4 goal, but if he could also bring home the win, that would be absolutely massive as well. And Fitzsimmons definitely has championships on his mind. Well, Fitzsimmons, it looks like, yeah, that's David Schmidt. He was able to avoid there. But very interesting. So far, it's been a race of attrition. And again, the big question, when are we going to see Fitzsimmons dive down pit road? Aguilar and Gibson second and third also have yet to box. They're separated by a half second, but now Fitzsimmons comes down pit road. Aguilar and Gibson will follow suit. Will Bianchi in fourth, as well as McAllister in fifth do the same. Oh, look at the rotor glow off Bianchi's number 17 machine. Very hard on the brakes here. Bianchi's down pit road. Hard on the binders. Fitzsimmons back on the ground. Oh, a very slow pit stop, 7.33 seconds. Aguilar with a 4.65, Gibson a 5.35. McAllister stays out. We talked about him early on the broadcast. He's feeling a lot more comfortable with the fuel mileage game. And he's talking about early in the race, he's kind of laughing at himself saying, hey, my friend said I was great at fuel mileage because I'm slow, but I've been consistently up here in the mix with the fast guys and still doing great on fuel mileage. Maybe all the endurance racing that McAllister has been running, that may be kind of translating to the open wheel circuit. And we do have a crash report. Micah Barnett did take a tow back to pit road, so he's going to be done and out of this feature event. Oh, somebody looped it right in front of him. And I can see why Barnett needed the tow on that one. I think that was Fairchild. Found himself careening around. Fairchild with no rear wing. Surely he's not going to stay out. He is the absolute legend. He was involved in an early race incident. Very wisely comes down pit road. Oh, that machine is all sorts of bent out of shape. But right now it's McAllister. Shows as your race leader, has yet to box. Running it very, very late here. McAllister comes down pit road, so you are now focused on what will be the battle for the lead. 3 cars still in it here. What happened here? Reed Gibson comes back down pit road. What happened to Gibson? That's going to leave it a two-car shootout for the race lead. It's Fitzsimmons versus Aguilar. Fitzsimmons is going to go defensive. Aguilar, known for his aggressiveness here at League Zero, not afraid to lick the stamp and send it. Are we going to see a big move from Aguilar? Is he going to be maybe content following along with Fitzsimmons and just trying to maximize some points for his team? If I was a betting man, and I am, I don't think Aguilar is going to play it safe here. I think he's going to go for it. Oh, how's this one going to shape out? It's going to be a big ask. Aguilar right there on the gearbox of Fitzsimmons. Trying everything he can do, but Fitzsimmons pulls a little bit of advantage, gains another about a quarter of a second there over Aguilar, sporting the purple and black number 72 machine. Fitzsimmons, the number 1, the defending back-to-back champion. I need to check the statistics here. I think it's been quite a while since we've seen 3 in a row from any driver able to lock home a championship here at League Zero. It's going to be interesting to see Aguilar in the draft. 5 laps left to go as they cross the line. Fitzsimmons trying to break the draft of Aguilar, but Aguilar's just too close. 2 tenths and closing fast. Is there going to be a move made? No. Aguilar opts to follow Fitzsimmons through the chicane. No big sends quite yet. Man, look at the corner drive on exit that Fitzsimmons is getting. Gaining almost 4 tenths there on corner exit. That is going to take Aguilar a little bit of time to build that momentum back up. And see if he's going to be able to catch up to the defending champion. Six tenths separating the two. 5 laps left to go. Reed Gibson's got complicated issues as he goes off track, gets it fired back up. But he loses a spot to the flying Frenchman, Xavier Zanave, who slides further up inside the top 10. Peter Renderson, 11th. He wants to get up there as well. Well, we've also got a good battle shaping up between Nick Peterson and Gareth McAllister. Peterson absolutely going for it here, makes the move on the Aussie. Now will McAllister fire back? Meanwhile, you've also got Reed Gibson trying to get over that previous mistake. I think he's had a couple big ones so far tonight, and he moves back up into 9th, passing Zanave. Don't forget the top 12 will be an inverted grid for the sprint race. So every position matters, as those 3 drivers was their impact there. Oh, David Schmidt was in a precarious position. I think that was Renger who almost made contact. Oh, Fitzsimmons. A little bit of a lockup and what we would call on motorcycles a tank slapper there under braking. Oh, a big blink from Fitzsimmons. The last thing he wants is connection issues. And Aguilar might smell some blood in the water here. He's got a 9/10 deficit he's got to try and overcome. Both Fitzsimmons and Aguilar are on the same pit strategy. Both came down on lap 16. And we would be amiss as well to mention that Bianchi, currently sitting in 3rd in that number 17 machine, he's got about a 2-second gap over Justin Sang. Now, granted, this is only round 2. But Bianchi last week at Watkins Glen picked up a 12th and a 14th, so this would be a good start to the championship season if he can really start off strong, grabbing that 3rd. As it looks like Fitzsimmons has found a little bit more time up front, now about 1.2 seconds up over Aguilar. We just saw Justin saying in the background a little bit of a bobble. That's going to put 2.5 seconds advantage in the favor of Bianchi. McAllister and Peterson still having their own battle for 6th. McAllister stayed out, one of the 2 drivers that stayed out until lap 17. I'm not quite sure if Gibson counts on that one, as that was his 2nd stop. I think Gibson must have had some sort of penalty there, or maybe had a refueling issue. We've seen in other broadcasts this week where some drivers weren't able to get properly fueled up as they came down pit road. But just a couple short laps left to go here in this feature event. And again, we'll have a brief podium celebration ceremony with our top 3 drivers and get right back into it for this the sprint race. And it looks like McAllister was able to get the pass on Peterson. Let's get that replay queued up. Looks like it's going to be into turn 1. Oh, a very beautiful move there from McAllister. Made that pass look nice and easy. Just a couple of short laps left to go for Fitzsimmons. He's 1.25 up over Aguilar. Aguilar, 16.7 seconds up over Bianchi. Oh, we've got a race going on for 6. Peterson's closed the gap back down to 2/10. 1/10 and closing fast. Is he going to pull the same move McAllister did? He's going to try up the inside of McAllister. McAllister, I think, is going to yield the position here into the chicane. Look at that. McAllister backs up on the corner trying to get the best drive he can, but Peterson just hits the marks buttery smooth. I'm wondering, the white flag will be out next time by for Fitzsimmons. Is McAllister going to maybe hang out at this point and try and make a last-ditch effort? We've seen a lot of moves being made into turn 1 after that long, winding start-finish line. Fitzsimmons crossing the line to start lap 24. The white flag is out here for the Italian Grand Prix. Oh, and we've got problems. Antonio Bianchi showed involved in an incident. Finley Fitzsimmons, your race leader, also an off-track excursion. Let's see what happened to Bianchi first. I think he might be getting tied up with traffic here. I think that may be Schmidt just ahead of the number 17 machine. Oh yeah, Schmidt has an incident. Bianchi locks up, waiting to see where the drivers are going to go. And then let's see what happened to Fitzsimmons to earn him an off track. Oh, a bit of an alternative line there. Fitzsimmons surely got a bit of a slowdown. And as we catch back to our live camera, yes, that is what Aguilar was looking for. One mistake out of Fitzsimmons may cost him the race win on the final lap. Aguilar's got to be consistent here. Is Aguilar going to wait for the start-finish line? Will he have time to make a draft pass to make this thing stick? Just a couple of brief corners left, and we're going to decide who wins round 2 of the feature event here at the Italian Grand Prix. Here we go. Aguilar looks to the outside line, tries a high-low move, and Fitzsimmons makes a huge mistake. Raymond Aguilar is going to get it on the mistakes compound for Fitzsimmons. He's too far back, 0.3 of a second as they come out of the start-finish line. Ladies and gentlemen, Raymond Aguilar will sneak home the win. Fitzsimmons obliterates himself into the wall out of frustration. And it looks like Bianchi is going to get his first podium spot of the season as well. Well done to the drivers, putting on a show. Aguilar with a massive win, celebrating here at the Italian Grand Prix. We're going to try and get these top 3 drivers up here to victory lane. And then we'll have a brief intermission before we send them right back out for the sprint race here at round 2. And while we're waiting for these drivers, as always, thank you to our fans, friends, and families supporting the league, supporting the drivers, as well as supporting the broadcast. As it looks like the gang is all here, we're going to start things off with the Italian stallion himself, Antonio Bianchi. Welcome to the top 3, the home track. Got to be pleased with how that one went for you.
Man, I can't lie. I didn't think I'd be back here in a feature race, considering how competitive the field's got. So it's good to be back here, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, it seemed like it was consistency that really bit drivers out on track. And I mean, obviously you had it dialed in for this one, but what do you think makes Imola so deceptively tough, I guess is a good way to put it?
Imola's a special one because I feel like you really get penalized for mistakes here, and there's a lot to do with off tracks and incident limits and managing that incident limit because it's so easy to run wide and get that extra time, but it could come back and bite you later. So I know there's definitely a lot of managing that. Like I think throughout the race there, like Justin was actually faster than me, but I managed to be more consistent and not get as much X, and I think it really benefited me there. So stuff like that's definitely huge.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well for you. Now you're going to be squarely in the meat grinder for the sprint race. What's the turn 1 strategy for you in that 17 machine?
Man, I mean, just making it through the first couple corners is going to be huge. I mean, the sprint race, there's always people doing crazy stuff to make it through because you have no time. And especially at a track like this, a mistake on lap 1 really, really punishes you. I mean, I got lucky on my feature race mistake, but it's so easy, those first 2 quick chicanes, to just absolutely bottle your entire race. So, matter of taking it easy and just weaseling your way through the first couple laps and then finally start going for some moves and seeing how you do.
Well, hey, I'm glad it worked out well for you. Good having you back up here in the top 3. And before we let you go, get ready for this sprint race. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make it happen for you?
Man, big shout out to Ray. I mean, we got that 1-3 secured, which is huge. I mean, I think it's the first time we've actually shared a podium together, so it's huge for us. Shout out to the Lap Zero podcast. We love that. Shout out to Team Goon Squad. We love you. And shout out to any of the other homies in here that always help us out. It's great to be back. Hopefully we'll see you again next race or anytime soon.
Awesome. Well, hey, best of luck out there, Antonio, and hope to have you back up here following the sprint.
Sounds good. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, sir. That was Antonio Bianchi bringing it home in third. Up next, we've got a very frustrated Fitzsimmons. Finley, you ran a great race, qualified on pole, but it seemed like it was a race of small incidents that a death by 1,000 cuts for yourself and a lot of other drivers out there.
Fuck.
Can't say that on the broadcast. Try again.
I think I bottled that harder than Arsenal in the Premier League. Yeah, we were running consistent the whole race until right before the pit stops. I had that incident with David. I got a little bit heated, forgot to untick my tyres, so I was trying to warm them up and keep Roman behind for that. And then we were running consistent laps again, managed to stretch a gap of like 1.5 seconds, but then yeah, I don't know what happened on the last lap. I just went wide into turn one, went deep, and then again into the final corner. So, yeah, I don't know quite what happened there.
Well, hey, it's
Yeah.
still a long season, and I think compared to seasons past, the last few seasons I've seen it, you're much more championship oriented. So with that in mind, you can't be super upset of the points you're able to secure here.
No, yeah, you're right. I'm happy with the points, but you know, it should have been a win. I shouldn't beat myself over it, but you know, that was mine to lose there. If I'm being honest with you.
Well,
It is all
a chance of redemption here at the sprint race. Is this going to be one of those races where you're going to drive with a little bit more aggressiveness, or are you going to maybe dial it back after those feature event bobbles?
I don't know, to be honest. I'll have to play it by ear. I think the strategy will be obviously to survive and then go from there. But yeah, we saw near to the end of the race, despite having my tyres back up to temperature, Raymond was still hanging on there more than he did at the beginning of the race. I'm not sure if that was to do with fuel loads as well, because my crew chief fully refueled me during the pit stop as well, which isn't ideal. But yeah, I think the pace will be closer in the sprint race, so track position on him will be key, but I won't be taking unnecessary risks.
Well, very well said. Finley, before I let you go, get ready for this sprint. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helps you bring home the second here tonight?
Once again, Gareth for being a brilliant teammate during qualifying, giving me a great tow and put me on pole by quite a few tenths of a second. So I really appreciate that for him. Obviously, thanks for James for putting on the broadcast and fellow racers Raymond as well for putting on a great fight. Yeah, congratulations to him. He drove consistently, and I bowled it. He deserved that one. What else? Yeah, thanks to the stewards Chase Small as well for stepping in for race control this season. Doing it for free, which the previous race control guy didn't do. So that's really good on his part, and yeah, I'm just grateful that he's willing to help the league out for free.
Well, hey, good to have you back up here. Best of luck in the sprint race, and we'll definitely be rooting for you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, sir. That was a very frustrated Finley Fitzsimmons bringing it home in second after a couple of big bobbles. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Ray Aguilar. Welcome back to the top spot here at Imola.
Yeah, squeak through by the skin of my teeth, man.
Yeah, I mean, some days you do everything right, and some days you have to kind of count on other people. But, man, it seemed like quite literally the seas parted, and you, I don't want to say you got very fortunate, but, man, what a great time for somebody else to have a bobble.
Hey, it's better that you say it than I am, because that's exactly what happened. I got super fortunate there. Early on, like lap 2, I noticed I was kind of running out of incident points, and I thought I need to slow down, be consistent. I saw Reed kind of do the same thing. He slowed down, trying to do it. I kind of assumed that Finn and some of the other guys would run out of incidents, but man, I think they made it through too. I don't think we had any major changes at the end from that.
No, I don't think we saw any from incidents. I know Gibson had a pit road problem where he had to come back through and serve a penalty, but other than that, not seeing the normal Imola off-track penalties being delivered. But what makes this track so particular with off-tracks? Is it an iRacing limit thing, or is it just track design where you're motivated to carry more corner speed where you maybe shouldn't?
It's both, and there's always so many more wrecks, and it's one of those things where Imola's that track you dip a tire just once and then you go off. If you're lucky enough to get back on, now your tires are too hot, and the whole time we're out there managing rears and trying to just get our game on. So it's a very difficult track for a lot of people.
Well, you've got some momentum built up. You got a second in the sprint at Watkins Glen, a first here in the feature at the Italian Grand Prix. What's the game plan? What's the strategy going into this sprint race about to follow up in about 3 minutes?
So the original game plan was I was just going to try to send it in turn 1 and take out it, or not take out, get by as many people as I could. I think now I'm going to just try to conserve and get as many points as I can. If I can get, a top 5 at the end of this sprint race, I'll be happy. You'll see me up here cheering with you.
Well, looking forward to another great race. Ray, best of luck in the sprint. Before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout to? Any friends, fans, or family that helped you bring home the win in this feature event?
As always, the wife and family, our teammates Chase, they all help us out. They all kind of have to pull a team together to get the Avanti, Little Debbie, Hankook, Bang Energy, Spy Optic, American Express, number 72 machine on the line. But it looks like it all worked out tonight. I'm thankful for everybody for getting me here.
Awesome, Ray. Best of luck. I know you had a big list of the scroll paper read off those sponsors, but I know they're all pumped as well. And best of luck in the sprint race, my friend.
Yep. Thanks, James. I love you.
Thank you, sir. I love you too. That was Raymond Aguilar bringing home the win in the feature event. Super great guy. And it was also Finley Fitzsimmons bringing home second and Antonio Bianchi bringing home third. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the action-packed sprint race. Half the laps and twice the action here at League Zero. Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Folks. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away go for the first time. Nicholas Porcel, Sean.
It looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got 3 wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Nice to go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
All right, race fans, we are back getting ready for the sprint race here this evening, and it is guaranteed to be a good one. 12 laps here for these drivers to see who's going to bring it home here at round 2 at League Zero. Thank you to our fans and friends tuned in, especially the guys over on Twitch, starting to get a little bit more onto that side of a streaming platform. Normally we have just stuck to YouTube in the past, so good to see the fans kind of helping us make the switch and getting things going. Now it's an inverted top 12. Gareth McAllister in the hot seat, the number 1 spot. Felipe Ramos starting 2nd. Peter Rettinger starts 3rd. Xavier Zanave starting 4th. Jaden Calloway starting 5th. Reed Gibson starting 6th. John Kasai starts 7th. Felipe Sarkis starting 8th. Justin Sang starts 9th. Antonio Bianchi starting 10th. Finley Fitzsimmons starts 11th. And Raymond Aguilar starting 12th, completing that inverted top 12 grid from the feature event. Here we go, the final time of the evening. The sprint race is always action-packed. And already we're going 3 wide into turn 1, and there's going to be carnage. A massive pile-up, and the caution is out. The safety car will be deployed. as a massive, massive pileup. Let's go ahead and get the replay machine queued up and see where things start to go wrong for the field. Oh, and it looks like Fitzsimmons may have been tied up in that one. Let's get the League Zero chopper cam pulled up. We're focusing on Jaden Calloway's 37 machine. I think this is where things started. No, it was, yes, Callaway may have lifted there to avoid getting the field. Ryan Tebow takes evasive maneuvers through the grass. What about our champion, Finley Fitzsimmons? Oh, Fitzsimmons may have been definitely in that one hard. I haven't seen too many drivers take a tow back to pit road. Let's watch it once more, focused on the defending champion. The purple machine in the middle of your screen. Is it a separate incident? No, I think Fitzsimmons is going to be squarely in the mix on that when the crash happens ahead. And Fitzsimmons, excuse me, the white and baby blue just absolutely plows into traffic as the field careens around. And I think Fitzsimmons, if he wasn't frustrated before the feature event ended, he's definitely going to be now as we're rolling behind the safety car. Gareth McAllister is going to have to start in the top spot once more. As he catches up to the safety car in turn one. You're about to see a whole lot of drivers come down pit road here. As we are under eye-pacing conditions, Finley Fitzsimmons, Jaden Calloway, 2 drivers down pit road. Now interesting, Micah Barnett did not make the grid, opted to pack it up in the virtual hauler and go home early. I'm a little surprised only 2 drivers thus far had to come down pit road. I was expecting a little bit more on that one. Keep an eye out on Reed Gibson's number 11 machine. Had a very disappointing finish in the feature event. Now finds him up early, quickly up 2 spots. So Gibson may have a bit of a redemption here as the points leader Fitzsimmons on pit road thinking about where things went wrong. Fitzsimmons rolls out of pit road after 32 seconds. How is the car moving for Fitzsimmons? Looks like everything's relatively in the right spot. Fitzsimmons may have been given a gift from the iRacing gods on that one. Now, I believe with how long the track is, it's only going to be 1 lap of caution here. Watching the track map in the bottom right hand of your screen, Callaway and Fitzsimmons have a very long way to go to catch up to the rest of the field here. I mean, they're going to be pretty much at race pace. So it looks like we are going to go 1 more lap under eye-pacing condition. Barney, our flagman, vigorously waving the yellow flag here. But the rest of the field was able to get together here, so it's going to be a very quick sprint race. An 8-lap shootout here for round 2 of the League Zero Formula 3 Series. Desai comes down pit road. I'm curious, it showed a few drivers involved in a crash. I wonder if that was just from heavy braking here. Yes, the broadcast software picking up drivers suddenly deaccelerating as a possible race incident. Sometimes it's a little bit touchy up here in the booth. So Fitzsimmons, who finished second in the feature, will be starting way back in 18th. Keep an eye out, Reed Gibson. He's going to be starting 4th. Other notable points, Raymond Aguilar starting 7th. Antonio Bianchi will be starting 9th on this one. So we get ready to head around the final 2 corners. Then the iRacing safety car will be ducking down pit road. Here we go. McAllister's going to start things off for the field. The checkered has been pulled in. We are green flag racing. What's going to be a very short sprint race, an 8-lap shootout. Felipe Ramos keeping the pressure on the young Aussie into the first chicane. Let's go a little bit further back where things are going to get exciting. Justin Sang makes a move on Xavier Zanave. There's Raymond Aguilar, and I think I just saw Nick Peterson careening around. Yes, I did. Peterson's off in the second portion. Thankfully, everybody else gets through. Gibson is putting the hammer down, keeping the pressure on Rettinger, the Austrian, in the 44. Rettinger running a very defensive line, but it looks like Gibson able to carry a little bit more corner speed. He's going to move up into third. Oh, we've got more problems in the back. That's going to be Andrew Neri having to collect himself and catch back up. Rettinger doing a good job keeping the pressure on Gibson, but now he's got Justin Sang right behind. Justin's been very, very quick here tonight. Sang pulls up alongside the 44. It's the 68 of Sang, the 44 of Rettinger. Sang makes it through, but another bobble and another big incident. I don't think they can roll the safety car at this point. Just not enough laps left, but a huge pileup. Let's get that replay. I think that started with Felipe Ramos in the 73. I'm curious at this point if anybody's going to finish. Oh yeah, Ramos just parked in a very bad spot and the field comes barreling in. And just really the field nowhere to go here. Ramos does a good job, holds onto the brakes and avoids the heartbreak behind. And look at this, 2 teammates, Gibson and Sang, are going to work together to track down McAllister. As the list of drivers out on track is starting to dwindle. Xavier Zanave's in pit road, Addison Hoagie in pit road. Peter Rettinger, John Kasai out of this sprint event. They are done for the night. Now, are we going to see these 2 teammates working together to try and pick up pace and catch McAllister? Orion Tebow, a great looking car, but not the way he wants to be on the highlight reel, as there goes Antonio Bianchi. Moving up into the 13th place spot. Another good pack we have out on track is a 4-car battle for 8th. You've got Andrew Neri, Jaden Calloway, Felipe Sarkis, Finley Fitzsimmons. It looks like Nick Peterson's joining the battle as well. Gonna be interesting here as it clicks over. The cross green and white flags will be out this time by for McAllister. He's got a 2.8 second margin over Gibson and Sang. But those two are wickedly fast. It's been quite a while since we've seen McAllister in the top spot of the podium. Trying to figure out what paint scheme Neri is running here. It almost looks like primer. Oh, there we go. It's probably a Rice Wraps design if I had a bet. Here we go. Here comes Jaden Calloway pulling up alongside Neri in the move for 8th. Neri lifts a little bit early, wants to roll right back on the gas. But now you've got Fitzsimmons in the fray as well. Fitzsimmons going to be driving like a man possessed, knowing he is in a points deficit here after the early incident. I think Fitzsimmons may be a little bit happy that the safety car was deployed, a chance at redemption. Right now, Raymond Aguilar has the fastest lap of the race on 137.41 as he sits in 4th. He would like nothing more than to make it a back-to-back. We go on board with Nick Peterson, the number 24 machine. He's running 11th out on track. You can just see Fitzsimmons and Neri side by side. Looks like Fitzsimmons going to make the pass. Neri tucks it behind the number 1 car, picking up the draft. Peterson's got a great show in front of him here. And it looks like Peterson might be able to catch up to Neri here shortly. You can also see Felipe Sarkis, the number 4, starting to reel in this freight train of drivers as well. Peterson, a big lunge. Neri backs off the brakes, gets back on, but a little bit too hot. Around goes Neri. Checking in on Raymond Aguilar. He's got another podium in his sights. He's about 8/10 back from Sang, 1.4 back from Gibson. I think if Aguilar can catch the draft with the 2 teammates in front of him, might have a shot here. Oh, I don't know. Sang and Gibson working that draft together, pulling advantage over Aguilar. It goes back to a 1-second deficit for Aguilar. And Gibson and Sang linked up, knows the gearbox here. Oh, a bit of a bobble there from Sang, pushes wide. That's going to be a big opportunity from Aguilar. Might be able to play a game of leapfrog. Drivers hitting speeds in excess of 160 miles an hour out on circuit. Here comes Aguilar. He can smell the podium in front of him. It's going to be 4 laps left to go as McAllister crosses the line. McAllister has only lost about a half second over the last couple of laps, and he's got to be hoping. Surely he knows Gibson and Sang aren't going to jeopardize a possible race win battling amongst each other. But Raymond Aguilar not afraid to throw a wrench in the plans as he takes a peek to the inside line, backs out of it. Not able to facilitate that pass on Sang. Loses about 0.2 of a second there. Gibson and Sang know they can't battle too much here as Aguilar really wants to crawl back up there. You heard him say he needs the points for the team. I think for a third, Aguilar is going to be more apt to send it. In the top 3, not too spread out. Now it's about 1.8 between McAllister and Gibson. And we've got more problems for the defending champion as he's on his lid. What happened to Fitzsimmons? He takes a tow back to pit road. He falls all the way back to 16th. What a interesting. Enhance. Get a little bit of a slow-mo here, pointing at that number 1 plate. Is it a solo incident? Does he get a little bit of help? So far, so good. Oh, it looked like, I think that's Espino, the number 90 machine. Yes, got a little bit out of sorts. Fitzsimmons not able to check up, and next thing you know, he's on his roof. The battle for Sang and Aguilar continues. Now coming into tonight, Fitzsimmons was your points leader. Tebow was second, Fox and Sarkis tied for third, Aguilar and Callaway tied for fifth. So the points are going to drastically change after this sprint race. Now Aguilar has been able to facilitate that pass on Sang, but look how much time it cost. He's 2.3 seconds back from Reed Gibson. Gibson does have one of the fastest laps of the race, but Aguilar was able to click off a lap time 0.3 faster. Meanwhile, McAllister has company and closing fast. Gibson closes the gap now to 0.9 to the race leader. McAllister rapidly running out of time here to try and defend. And with that very large buffer between Gibson and Aguilar, I think it's going to be these two shooting out for a while. Don't count Aguilar out of it just quite yet. If Gibson's not able to make a very quick and clean pass, this could slow the race pace down for what's about to be the remaining 2 laps here of round 2 of the Formula 3 series. Gibson squarely in the draft of the young Aussie. McAllister, your race leader. They cross the start-finish line. It's 2 to go here at Imola. Gibson still about 2.3 seconds back from this battle. Didn't gain too much ground as Gibson just clicked off his fastest lap of the race on 1:37.45. Very close to what Aguilar was doing. Aguilar and Sang nose to tail, running third and fourth. Almost contact there between McAllister and Gibson. I think McAllister saw it coming, lifted off the brakes slightly to avoid getting rear-ended. Almost had an off-track himself. And Gibson's giving all the pressure, the 25, not giving any chance of breath here. Oh my goodness! Gibson, a huge off track. Did he just give a possible race win to McAllister? Oh, what's going to happen here? McAllister hard on the binders. I think Gibson threw it in there, just nowhere to go. Came in way, way too deep. Hops off the wheel. McAllister not out of it yet. I think he's driving damaged. And there is Raymond Aguilar as well as Justin Sang. McAllister 6.5 seconds ahead. Oh, this is going to be an exciting one. 1.3 seconds separating the top 3 drivers. It's McAllister, Aguilar, Sang. They've got a very comfortable gap on the rest of the field. Reed Gibson in 4th, Jaden Callaway currently in 5th. White flag will be out next time by. Can McAllister hold on to it here? Aguilar wants nothing more than to make it back-to-back. And I also wouldn't count out Justin Sang. Sang still within drafting distance of Aguilar. It would be a gutsy move to try a 2-for-1, but we've seen crazier things here at League Zero. Oh, a bit of a bobble there for Sang. He's going to lose some momentum. falling back about a second from Aguilar and McAllister. These two are squarely linked up again, a quarter of a second separating the two. Making their way through the final section, the two 90-degree corners. White flag is going to be out this time by. Is Aguilar going to try and make a patch of the lead and maybe defend for the final lap? The white flag is out here at the Italian Grand Prix. Yes, Aguilar hops out of formation, wants to quickly guard the inside of the racetrack. Makes the move for the race lead. A little bit squirrely. McAllister fires back, but Aguilar shuts the door. Looks like Saint's going to be stuck following along here. Oh, this is going to be an exciting one. McAllister and Aguilar separated by about 0.2 of a second. McAllister keeping the pressure on Aguilar. Right off the back wing. When and where is the right time to make a move? Has to be patient, not sacrificing too much corner exit. But wants to keep Aguilar in that striking distance. Did McAllister have a bobble there, losing about 0.4? Now McAllister's going to have his hands full with Justin Sang. Sang hops out of line, tries to make a move for second. Is McAllister and Sang too far back at this point to try and reel in Aguilar? Almost 0.8 separating the the feature event winner, Aguilar, from McAllister. Yes, I think Aguilar's going to get it here. Aguilar is going to bring home the win. McAllister second and Justin Sang third. What a great race amongst these top three. And before tonight, Aguilar did not have a race win so far this season. Makes it 2 in one go. Oh, what a good one from start to finish amongst these drivers. A lot of fun watching that one. And the points are getting absolutely rocked here tonight. We're going to get these top three drivers up here to victory lane for a very brief podium celebration. Looks like we've got McAllister. Waiting on Sang and Aguilar. They're just waiting on one more driver. That's Justin Sang, the third place finisher, to get up here into the booth. And it looks like we're going to get things started here. So starting things off, third place finisher Justin Sang, the 68, up 6 spots from where he started. Some great racing. Seems like some good teamwork between yourself and Gibson, but got to be happy with the third here tonight.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting anything since I haven't driven these cars for a couple months, but yeah, it was a good finish. A lot of these guys took themselves out and helped me.
Now, Justin, it seemed like as the race continued from the feature event to the sprint, just got more and more comfortable as things progressed, and it seemed like you just got faster and more consistent the whole race.
I did. I don't drive Imola a lot, and so driving these cars, I don't drive these cars a lot as well. So the race basically was my practice, and it worked out. So yeah, just more lap time, more seat time,
Well,
helped it quite a bit.
I'm glad it worked out well for you. It's good having you back up here in the top 3. Before I let you go and celebrate with your friends and teammates, who do you want to give a shout out to?
Reed for giving me a podium. Um, running into the back of Gareth. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome, Justin. Always a pleasure, my friend. I hope to have you back up here soon.
All right, thanks.
That was Justin saying, bringing home the third. Up next, the world-famous Australian Gareth McAllister started in the top spot for that sprint race. I know that is nerve-wracking, but got to be pleased with the second with so many Formula 3 titans around you.
Oh, absolutely ecstatic, James. Thanks for thanks for having me. I feel like I definitely shouldn't even be here, but I will say that I want to apologize straight away to Reed. I don't think I did any different. I have no idea exactly what happened. I think we just got together and yeah, so I want to apologize for him first. Second, Ray is basically, Ray, Reed, Finley, all those guys saying as well, you know, trying to stay in front of him is just pretty much impossible. I was hoping to hold on at the end there, and I feel like I had something there for Ray, but not quite what I wanted. And yeah, just a bit unfortunate there, but otherwise felt pretty good.
Well, with the safety car, was that worse for your nerves knowing you had to do it all over again?
Oh, the safety car, James. I tell you, the safety car absolutely saved my ass. Like I was definitely going to be probably around the 10th place, maybe a tiny bit higher once that thing came out because I did not account for just how cold the tires were going to be. I sent it in a little bit too hard in turn 1 and I may have caused the chain reaction that led to the calamity behind me. I'm not sure, but I will say that it seemed to work out pretty well and somehow the caution came out right before I lost a spot. So managed to stay up front and yeah, just kept it there as long as I could.
Well, hey, glad it worked out well. I know you're pumped to get the team points on this one in a relatively clean race car, all things considered. Before we let you sign off, who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make this second place possible for you?
Well, shout out to Ray because without him, the second place wouldn't have been possible because he passed me. Um, shout out to Sang for Justin Sang for the exact same reason behind me. But no, in all honesty, shout out to my friends, family. Everyone in this league does an amazing job as always. You as well, James, and my grandparents, I know that they're not watching right now, even though I sent it to them, but they will be watching it later on. So that'll be fantastic to hear their reactions from that as well. And yeah, I think that's about it. I also want to do a quick shout out to Nick Peterson towards the end of the feature race. I didn't think I did anything different there either, but yet again, it seems to be the way with me tonight. I just seem to break a little bit earlier than some of the guys around me are expecting, and unfortunately, there was a bit of an accident there, but that did allow me to start on pole. So um, just very lucky here tonight, I think, at Imola.
Well, hey, great having you back up here. Even better having you inside the top 3. Gareth, well done, and hopefully you got a little bit momentum built up for the rest of the season.
Thanks, James. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you, sir. That was Gareth McAllister bringing it home in third. But up next, the second time tonight, back-to-back, Ray Aguilar. Welcome to the top spot in the podium. It is great to have you back.
Feels good, man. I haven't had a double win in a long time. Feels good.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of seasons past here at League Zero. I mean, I don't want to say it was the norm to have some back-to-back finishes, but yeah, definitely been a hot moment, and I know it feels great. Up 11 spots on now, and that's a long, brief race to make all that happen.
Yeah, a lot of safety car stuff, and as you know, as the greatest driver that's ever blessed this league, I haven't had the right car underneath me for the last 2 seasons, and now that I've got one back, it feels really good.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about the safety car. When someone in your position, bringing home the win in the feature event, the inverted top 12, you're squarely in the meat grinder. Does that give you, I mean, granted, the safety car came out very early, but does that give you a chance to kind of reformulate a plan and kind of attack from there?
Exactly. These sprint races, the whole thing is when you're starting 12th or 10th or wherever, you're mid-pack, you're just trying to keep that gap down. There's so much stuff that messes up in the beginning of the race and slows everybody down. Everybody's being cautious that the leaders just run off from you. So if any little thing you can get or have happen to you by the grace of God to give you a safety car like that helps.
Well, I'm very glad it worked out well. And you kind of talked about in the feature event saying it's going to be a night of points. And, man, you racked them up after this one.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've got a double podium, let alone 2 wins, and I got that kind of points coming in the bag. I just got to hopefully keep this going. I'm superstitious as can be, and right before I got in here tonight, these little neighbor kids that were playing in our basement messed all my stuff up. So maybe I'll have them come in here and like destroy all of my equipment before every race, and then I can win every single one of them.
Yeah, that's got to be the move, but
How that works?
Yeah,
I mean that's logic, right?
yeah,
That's how it works.
yeah. Don't change anything. That's one thing I
No,
learned as
I
a
mean,
racer. If something's working,
yeah.
just stop. Everything's good.
Yeah, this pair of underwear I have on is like 18 years old. I just can't change them. They're the lucky ones.
Hey, whatever works. I'm glad you've taken them off at least once since then. But Ray, you got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who you want to give a shout out to that helped you bring home the back-to-back wins here at round 2?
I want to thank Team Goon Squad for putting on a good show. We often overlook this, but man, this would be 50% less fun without you guys putting on the show each night or every Thursday night for us. So I really want to put a thanks out there to everybody that does this stuff, you especially, James. And I want to thank my teammate for putting in the work this week. And actually, he didn't have a great result in the sprint, but he actually did a pretty good job, and we came home with a bunch of points. So we're really looking forward to this team championship going on.
Awesome, Ray. Always a pleasure, my friend. Good to have you back up here. Doubly so, every pun intended. And hope that momentum keeps up for you this season.
I appreciate it. I'll take all the luck I can get. Thanks, James.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And that is Ray Aguilar bringing home the top spot. Back-to-back wins here at Imola. Bringing it home in the feature. Bringing it home in the sprint. And for the sprint, he was accompanied for the first time podium finishers this season, Gareth McAllister, as well as Justin Sang. On behalf of LeagueZero.net, my name has been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for tuning in, supporting the drivers, supporting the league, as well as supporting the broadcast. And I look forward to having you all back same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everybody.